These matched the description of the flowers Mrs. de Plancy mentioned. There's no scent.
You get away from my hippiastrum!
Ah, apologies.
Move!
Well, that confirms it. Good day.
Hello.
I really need one of those hippiastrum flowers.
Why?
It's a long story. Might you please be able to get one for me, or distract Miss Fenchurch so I can take one?
Those flowers are Miss Fenchurch's favourites. She spends hours looking after them. Sorry, Mum. It's just that I'm so worried about Mr. Ambrose.
The milkman?
Aye. We were to run away together today.
I see.
I'm worried sick that he stood me up. Without Mr. Ambrose, this job is all I have. I can't risk losing it over a flower.
I'm sorry, Miss Tompkins. I still haven't seen him.
Do you think he's abandoned me?
I'm sure that's not the case. He must have been delayed somewhere.
Could you try to find him for me, Mum? Oh, please, Mum. I'd do anything for you if you found my love.
I can try.
Oh, thank you. You're ever so kind, Mum.
What does Mr. Ambrose look like?
He's got brown hair.
I'm afraid I'll need a bit more to go on.
Sorry, Mum, I'm too upset. Please find him, won't you?
Hey, stop your nattering and get back to your sweeping!
Sorry, Miss Fenchurch.
Good day.
Hello there.
My name is Thomasina. What's yours?
Ralph. Not seen you around before.
I'm just visiting. Do you know Mr. Ambrose, the milkman?
I do, yes.
Have you any idea where he might be?
He is usually here by now.
So I heard.
He normally arrives via the road to the east of Bewley.
Thank you. I'm looking for some help with an excavation tomorrow. Might you be interested?
Sorry, miss. I've already got my own job.
What brings you to the market today?
I purchased a Scotch egg for me tea. You want a bite?
No, thank you. Enjoy your Scotch egg.
I will.
There we are. Your shells are looking much more interesting now. I pestered Mother for years to let me bring some of your treasures here. I think she's worried that I want to follow in your path. She has hidden most of your discoveries away. I had to beg her to bring me to visit you, you know. I shouldn't worry you with all that. Do you know that I have a story for each of these pots? Well, I don't know if they're all true, but they are my memories. Even though I was so young, I still remember our adventures together. Would you like me to share my memories of them? Well, I'm going to, whether you like it or not. This is from the first dig I remember you taking me on. The excavation of West Kennet Long Barrow. I found it wedged behind a stone as you ate your sandwich. You said, "Now there's a tiny urn for a tiny girl." Mother was so angry when you brought this one home, wasn't she? "William, that simply will not do. It's taking up all the space on the mantelpiece." Once you moved it to your study, I remember creeping in to take a peek at it. We found this one together in that mucky old barrow near Avebury. I think it was the second time you'd taken me on a dig with you. I remember you bringing it up to your face to look inside and shrieking in horror. "There's a bloody rat in there," you screamed. I think you brought this one back from a trip abroad. I would have loved to go with you, but Mother didn't want me to. I remember you being so proud of it. It looks ancient. You were incredibly excited about this one. I hadn't gone on an expedition with you yet. You were so happy about it, showing it to Mother and I. You didn't stop talking about it for hours. I thought, How can Daddy be so excited over some old broken pottery? But it wasn't long until I understood. I almost forgot. While I was searching for your pots in the shed, I found one of your manuscripts. I thought Mother had burnt all your notebooks, but she missed one. It was an account of barrows across the east of England. I managed to read it all before Mother took it away. Daddy, it was fascinating. I've decided that is what I want to do with my life. I'm going to travel the country, excavating and documenting my own finds. Well, as soon as I'm old enough to escape Mother, that is. When you're feeling better, we can go out on expeditions together again, just like we used to. I promise you'll get better, Daddy. I'll do whatever it takes to make it so. There's something ahead on the road. My God! Mr. Ambrose! I'm going to help you. Please hold still. I'm going to cut you free. He had been so tightly bound that I could barely cut through without hurting him further. His mouth was stuffed full of flowers of a most peculiar scent. I was dismayed at such savagery, and wondered if the feral folk Father Roach had mentioned were responsible for this abhorrent act. After some considerable effort, I managed to cut him free. Are you all right?
Who were lost in visions of hell itself, the devil. I saw the devil.
Who did this to you?
I don't remember. Oh, the terrible sights I saw. I won't forget them till my last breath.
Are you Mr. Ambrose?
Yes, Edward Ambrose.
You were to meet Miss Tompkins today.
My love. Oh, my darling love.
Let me take you to her. Here, take my hand. As we made the arduous trek to Panswick Manor, I probed Mr. Ambrose on who had done this to him. He insisted that he didn't remember anything, except for his nightmarish visions.
My love.
Eddie! Jesus, what happened to you? Were you in a fight?
Now, fret not, my love.
I thought you'd abandoned me.
Never. Thank your friend here for helping me out of a bind.
Oh, Eddie!
Let's get out of here, my darling.
Hang on.
You thieving bint! I'll have your guts for garters!
Oh, stick it where the sun don't shine, you bitter old sow!
The cheek!
Here you are, Mum.
Thank you, Miss Tompkins.
No, thank you for finding my poor Eddie.
Aye, thank you, lass.
Let's go, Eddie. I'm never setting foot on this god-forsaken estate again.
Good luck, you two. I have something for you.
You found them? Oh, you dear child. Let's take them straight to Albert. You'll come with me, won't you?
Of course, Mrs. de Plancy.
You know, the things I miss most about him are the things that used to annoy me. The click of his jaw as he chewed his sandwiches. leaving his tools all around the house. The way he'd never back down from an argument. He's just quiet at home now. Silence. The funny thing is, that's what he always craved. Peace and quiet. He were a good man, our Albert.
Sounds like he was. I'm so sorry.
Do you fear death, pet?
It's the part in between that concerns me most.
Whatever do you mean?
My father had an accident many years ago. Ever since, he's been in a state where he can neither speak nor move.
Oh, that does sound dreadful. I'm sorry, pet.
I believe his mind to still be active, but perhaps this is the worst of all fates. To be trapped in one's own body and unable to express oneself while the world continues around you. That is what I fear.
Maybe he'll get better one day.
I'd do anything to make it so. Those flowers look beautiful.
They do. Albert will be smiling down on us. Pet, I left me basket inside the church. You'll find some Bakewell puddings in there. You can have them.
Oh, you...
I insist. You've brought an ounce of happiness into my day, dear. It's only just that I return some.
Thank you, Mrs. Duplancy.
To be truthful with you, I was saving them for myself. I shouldn't be so selfish. Lord forgive me.
You're nothing of the sort.
I'll stay here with Albert a bit longer. You go back to your day, pet. Lord be with you.
And you, Mrs. Duplancy. Here they are.
The vision returns.
I come bearing gifts.
Freshly baked gifts?
Yes. 3 of Mrs. Duplancy's famous Bakewell puddings.
You are an amusing creature, Thomasina.
What do you mean?
You must think me a scoundrel of the highest order for asking you to undertake such folly. Of course I would have lent you my men either way. I merely desired an excuse to share a cake with you.
Lord Panswick.
I take no pleasure in watching you scurry about Bewley to fulfill my every whim. Or do I?
I do not find this amusing in the slightest. You have no idea what I had to go through to get these for you.
Oh, I do. And that's what I admire about you. Tenacity. Even in the face of something you know to be absurd. You don't give up, do you?
Never. Though in this case I ought to have.
Now then, will you share one of these tempting confections with me?
Why not?
Splendid! I'm glad the rain doesn't put you off. You like to live a little dangerously, don't you, Thomasina? Let us stroll to the beck.
That sounds nice. We walked side by side down to the beck, his hand occasionally brushing my own. Despite Lord Panswick's entertaining company, I had an overwhelming feeling that time was being wasted. We ate those cakes down by the beck, and as he attempted the most charming lines he could muster upon me, I only had one thing on my mind. Father. Could he be saved from his suffering? Was the answer to be found within Hobbs' Barrow? I ached to find out. I didn't even notice the taste of those famous puddings. Seemingly disheartened by my lack of enthusiasm, Lord Panswick soon marched me back toward the ruined chapel.
Chaps, listen up. You're to assist Miss Bateman's excavation tomorrow. What time, Miss Bateman?
Early morning, if you don't mind.
We'll be there whenever you need us, miss.
Hobbs' Barrow. On the Bryden estate, if I'm not mistaken.
We'll be there.
Take your tools with you. Miss Bateman will need every assistance we can provide her with.
It's no bother.
Splendid!
Thank you, lads.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll see you later, my dear.
Thank you, Lord Panswick.
We're finishing up here, miss. See you tomorrow morning, all right?
Certainly. I appreciate your help. Well, that's a relief to have my crew assembled for tomorrow. It's getting dark and cold. Time to head back to the plough and furrow.
Evening, Miss Bateman.
Good evening, Stanley.
Your lordship,
Stanley, my good man.
to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, your lordship?
I've come to wish Miss Bateman good fortune for her grand excavation tomorrow. I'm really rather curious as to what she might turn up.
As am I, your lordship.
An exciting time for Bewley. Wouldn't you agree, Stanley?
Oh, yes, your lordship. Very, very exciting.
My dear, please, allow me the pleasure of buying you a drink. A welcome antidote to the wind's bite. Wouldn't you say, Stanley?
Yes, indeed, your lordship.
Why not?
Splendid. You heard the fair lady.
There you are.
Thank you.
Everyone, raise your glasses to Miss Bateman. May she conquer Hobbs Barrow and find all that she desires. Hip hip!
Hooray!
You don't wish to join me in a beverage?
Oh, you go ahead, my dear. Alcohol does not sit well with my constitution.
Thank you, your lordship. I needed that.
I aim to provide you with whatever your heart desires. I've reminded my chaps they're to meet you at Hobbs Barrow in the morning.
Thank you again, Lord Panswick.
Till we meet again, faites des beaux rêves. Mr. Shoulder?
Your lordship?
Hello again, Mr. Shoulder.
Miss Bateman?
I've recruited the help of some local labourers to help with the excavation.
Marvellous. When do we start?
Tomorrow morning, first thing.
Wonderful.
Can I count on your assistance?
Of course. I'll meet you here at the plough and furrow.
What else can you tell me about this Sax knot?
Try not to worry yourself too much with these old stories. Leave those to the locals, Miss Bateman.
Have others spoken of goblins appearing in their dreams?
A dream is a dream, that is all. They merely make for good stories.
I know.
But to answer your question, no, not to my knowledge.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Shoulder.
I'm sure the locals have filled you in already, lass.
You cut quite the mysterious figure. Most had little to say.
It's true, I do tend to keep my head down. When one gets to my age, one grows very comfortable in one's home. I like the isolation of the moors. I wouldn't change it for anything.
I take it you don't get many visitors.
Oh no, nobody bothers me. That's the perk of living so far out, huh? Just me and me hens. I used to come into Bewley more often, back before my health went to bugger, eh?
What do you think of Bewley?
Whilst one could consider the villages to be rather unenlightened, this place has its charm. The market's in town today. You can see that folk want fun out here.
Is there anything else I should know about Hobbs Barrow, Mr. Shoulder?
No, lass. I'm certain we will know a lot more about it by this time tomorrow.
I hope so. What else can you tell me about the previous excavation?
I think I covered it earlier, Miss Bateman. As you yourself said, it were a time of superstitious hysteria.
What was it like, living in that period of hysteria?
I kept to myself. It didn't really affect me. My hens stayed healthy and their eggs kept me well fed. If one can keep a level head in such situations, one can get by.
Indeed. Is there anything else I should be aware of before my own excavation? No other ghouls I should be worried about?
You know the answer to that. The corruption in that soil were all in the minds of men.
What do you make of Lord Panswick?
His lordship is an important man in Bewley, as I'm sure you have gathered. His family has commanded much respect here for many generations.
Do you respect him as a leader?
I do. He wants the best for the village. Without his influence, the railway line would have never come through here.
Does he want more visitors?
Aye, I believe so. He has great ambitions for Bewley and wants to share them with the world.
What do you make of Mildred Walker?
Who?
I believe she's also known as Mother Mildred.
Oh, we used to get about when we were children. Our paths have not crossed in a long while.
What do you think of Charles Bryden?
He is a decent man. It must have been hard for him after that terrible business with his brother.
Without a doubt. I must say I had assumed you had at least spoken to him about my visit.
Sorry, lass, I had no intention of giving you the runaround. Again, I can only apologise.
If you don't mind me asking, what is the nature of your ongoing illness?
Oh, just the ravages of age. Getting off this bench will be a small battle in itself. Something you won't need to worry about for many a year, Miss Bateman.
Growing old is a blessing and a curse. And what of your recent fever?
An ordeal it were. So much tossing and turning. But I'm right as rain now, especially after a mug of ale. Don't worry about me.
What are Lord Panswick's plans for Bewley?
He's rebuilding an old chapel on his estate. He seeks to bring God back to these lands.
But what of St. Edmunds? I think Father Roach might argue God has never left.
Indeed. Let's leave such arguments to them, shall we?
Thank you for your time.
Aye, Miss Bateman. We will speak more later.
Seen her.
Arthur?
I've remembered something.
What is it, Arthur?
Not here. Meet me outside, in the alley.
He's stinking drunk, but let's hear what he has to say. What is it?
First of all, I must apologise to you. That night we met, when I vanished.
Yes?
Well, there were a man in the loo. A hooded man. He threatened me with a beating if I told you anything about what I saw.
Oh, Arthur, that's terrible. What did you see?
That's the thing. I hadn't the foggiest idea what he were on about. It was a drink, you see. I'm an embarrassment, Thomasina.
No, you're not, Arthur.
Here's what I need to tell you. I've remembered what you were on about.
Oh?
Aye. Standing in the woods today, I knew there was something. I waited, I concentrated, and it finally came back to me.
Please, you're keeping me in some serious suspense here.
All right. It were a couple of days before I met you.
Hurry now, Leonard.
I'm not as quick as I used to be. This leg is getting worse by the day.
Yes. I'm constantly made aware of your failing health. Do not fear. You said he has promised you the reward of your returned strength.
Aye, and it can't come soon enough.
Are you sure that it must be her blood?
Aye, she's family.
And she gets here in 2 days.
Aye.
We must bring her to the site as soon as she arrives.
No. Your lordship, with all due respect, we've been through this. We need to ease her into the idea. She would laugh in our faces if we just asked for it.
Who said we would ask?
He told me that she needs to give it willingly.
This little scheme of yours better work, Leonard.
It will, your lordship. We've got the perfect bit.
Wait. Who goes there? Did you hear something? Ah, a moonlight tryst. After something, are you, Mr. Tillett?
Your lordship, let me...
Save your words, you drunken wretch. Off you go, skedaddle. Don't make me ask twice. I do wish you wouldn't spend so much time with that fool. It's beneath a woman of your standard. It's sad, really. That dog urine they serve here has rather pickled the man's brain.
You're being most unfair to him. Mr. Tillett is a nice man.
Come now. I shall bid thee adieu once more, for I do not wish for this to come between us. All the very best wishes for your excavation tomorrow, my dear.
Thanks.
So, Thomasina, the journal proves I'm telling you the truth, does it not?
It does.
Good. Now listen. I can help him again. We can help him. Together.
How?
All those years ago, your father entered this barrow with the goal of binding me within it. All because the people of Bewley had gotten it into their heads that Sack's not what cause of their plight. I tell you, Thomasina, I were not. Your father botched his incantation, leaving me in this weakened state, stuck in this limbo. As for him, well, you know how he ended up.
This doesn't sound right. Incantations. My father is a man of...
You don't know your father, Thomasina. How old were you? A child of not even 5, 6 years? You need to enter this barrow and undo what your father did. The spell must be undone. Then not only will I regain my strength, but your father will too.
But how do I...
Blood. The truest symbol of life and death. It's the life which flows within you, but it's also death once it escapes.
I don't understand.
Worry not how you'll undo what's been done. When the time comes, you'll know exactly what to do. Time is short. Your father and I grow weaker by the hour. Go. Save your father.
I must undo what has been done. Father, I'm coming. Good morning. Stanley?
Ah, Miss Bateman. Mr. Shoulder left a note for you.
Thank you, Stanley.
Oh, there were a key with it too.
Miss Bateman, I beg you, in the name of God, leave this town.
Father Roach, what is the meaning of this?
There's nowt for you here, lass. Clear off.
I beg you, Miss Bateman.
Father Roche, Mr. Farnaby, here to wish Miss Bateman good luck for her excavation, gentlemen.
Am I heck?
Mr. Kemp, you know...
An excavation strongly supported by Lord Panswick, no less.
I wish you well with your findings, Miss Bateman. May the Lord strengthen you and guard you from the evil one.
Yeah, little children, guard yourselves from idols.
Good luck, Miss Bateman.
Thank you.